Stasis. What is interesting, by the way, guys, is that we're actually going to have the entire tournament where not a single player is going to end up playing the other player twice. Often in the playoffs, you'll get to a point where players end up playing against players they've met previously once again. But no, not today. Not today. Not going to happen. Which is cool. It means that the entire turn has been completely unique. As we have got to the top right-hand side of the map, starting us off here in this best of 7, our red Zerg player. This, my friends, is TLO. And to the top right-hand side, our blue Zerg player from Clash is Elazer. Have to go back to work tomorrow, Wardy. Won't be able to watch on one. Will I call my boss and tell him I'm sick? Dude, I'm actually not streaming tomorrow, I don't think. I don't actually think I have anything to stream. It's been so hectic running this tournament the last week or so that I've not actually been able to plan my own events for the next week or so. And so I'm actually probably going to be offline tomorrow. Maybe just for the day. Wardy, are you going to Montreal? I really had a heartbreak over Montreal. I didn't know whether I wanted to go or not. I really wanted to go, and actually I really do still want to go. Before I think the first time this year, I'm saying let's just be realistic and not make the trip out. I really want to head out there. I really want to meet everyone in Montreal. I really want to enjoy the event with you guys and stuff, but I just don't think I can justify the cost of flying to Montreal and then the Airbnb for 6 days. Like, I just don't think I can justify it, which is sad because it wasn't even that expensive. It's just I'm also in the process of getting ready to move house and stuff like that, and I'm probably going to have to get an internet set up in my new apartment and stuff like that, and it's just not really going to be very great. It's just not going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, I just feel as though it's going to be good if I just have some extra time at home to sort it out. I don't know. I think just in the end, the whole effort of getting it set up and so on, I decided not to. I'm going to stay at home for this one. It's going to be my first WCS event I missed this year, which is pretty crazy. Feels bad, man. Obviously, TLO here opens up with this free hatch. Sorry, Elazer. What? I thought this was TLO. Elazer opens up with free hatch before pool, taking that gold base. Now, TLO might be about to get a taste of his own medicine, but he does see it pretty quickly. Earlier today, Raynor failed to punish TLO for going for free hatch before pool, and if TLO is able to punish Elazer now, well, that would be great for him. But again, if he isn't, it could cause some issues. Again, best of 7 here. Winner goes to the finals. TLO looking to make it an all-liquid final. Elazer looking to at least put up some competition to Team Liquid here in this event. Bane and Nest on both sides. Obviously, Elazer wants his Bane and Nest to stay safe against potential aggression. TLO is just going to take the regular blue base, not going to take this gold just yet. So he's not going to take his own gold as a counter to his opponent. So do you have some hashtags coming in, guys? Again, hashtag TLO, hashtag Elazer to show who you're supporting in this series. Let me just line that back up with the rest of the overlay. It just moves sometimes, don't ask me why. Hashtag TLO from CareBear185 from Shadow Eater. Terrible tractors those. Hashtagging Elazer. The greedy Elazer. Stefano OW with the hashtag TLO as well. Keep those votes coming in. Want to see who you guys are supporting in this series. As we are just going to be seeing a couple of links to TLO, trying to head in towards the main base with that speed, and just trying to get some scouting information. And well, you will see not too much. There is an Evo chamber coming up on this left side of the map from TLO, so TLO is setting up into the Evo chamber a bit faster, so there really wasn't anything for him to see from Elazer, right? Elazer just now throwing down the evolution chamber in the back of his natural. We'll see what those Evo chambers are going to be used for. Is, well, TLO's just going to sit back defensively for a moment or two here. The work count is even between the two of them, and first banelings will not go off on those lings as they jump up in towards the main base. That one Zergling is obviously not that much of a threat, and we'll be able to clean this up with the Zerglings. So Zerglings picking up those kills, and meanwhile the Roach Roaring starts up from Elazer. He starts +1 missiles, but so does TLO just a moment or so afterward. Not too long at all. As we see more drones coming out, another Roach Roaring being built here for TLO. Obviously, his is just a little bit later on, but it should be up in plenty of time to actually get roaches out in terms of, you know, if his opponent gets aggressive. Just have to remember here that Elazer is sat on a gold base, and for now that's great. For now you'll have the income lead. But over time, this gold base will mine out faster, there's less minerals available on it. which means he has to take a 4th base a bit sooner than TLO. And of course, if TLO can survive this gold-based economy for now, eventually he might be able to move his way towards his own gold-based economy and be able to go from there. So, some options at the moment, as we do see the Lao on the way up from both players. That'll give access to the road speed, but also it will give access to the the tech switches as well. And there is a lot of tech switches which we could see here. For example, you could tech switch in towards the Spire. You could maybe start thinking about Hydras already. Lurker Den. Bit greedy, isn't seen all the time, but definitely is something we see now and again, depending on the way the game is going. Most importantly, though, road speed and +2 missile attacks are the way it will allow you to continue on, as we do see those Zerglings heading on over to the left-hand side of the map. Lots of hashtags coming in right now as well. God of Cheese, hashtag Elazer, hashtag TLO from Sonovich, and more to join it. TLO will have to cancel his 4th base as Elazer. He'll lose the Zerglings, but TLO, well, you mean 4th base cancelled for a few seconds. He gets it right back up and running again. Again, no gold base in the center, though. No gold base in the center. A few more roaches coming out here currently. A bit of a drop load from Elazer. We've seen some drop play already today, as we do see that overload heading over to the left-hand side. We saw some Bane and some TLO actually killing a mineral line of Raynor back on Automaton a few maps back. Actually, it was our 5th map of the first series today. Overseer taking some damage from a Queen as it runs on by, sorry, an Overlord. And there's that drop load, and TLO just doesn't respond, and that's painful. Already a little bit behind in workers, now it'll be 10 more workers killed, so he's down by 14. And again, Elazer's had that gold-based economy throughout this as well, and now already jumping on the opportunity to go in towards this group of roaches here. Elazer going to start getting out of this position, and, well, he's just going to wait a little bit, because again, his economy is better, and it still really is true. This gold base is still healthy for another couple minutes. And if he just hits with kind of +2 and +1 carapace, well then that's obviously going to be very powerful. That said, TLO is getting a Lurker Den. And if he can get Lurkers up into a good position, then he should be able to get something going here. As you do see, Queen's able to jump onto an Overlord and will be able to get a kill. So Elazer being taken down here. More roaches and Ravages going to head on over to the left-hand side. This entire army moving across, and obviously Elazer wanted to try and get this into position. Isn't going to be able to just yet, though, as we will be seeing. TLO defending for the moment. He's getting his first lurkers up, and again, this map's pretty macro favored. It does allow a lot of choke points. It does stop you from being able to really attack easily. So, with the lurkers coming up, it might be a possibility to hold here from TLO, but he needs these lurkers to come into play, and I'm a little bit afraid of the amount of Ravages there are for his opponent. And right now, those lurkers not even in range to join the fight as Elazer continues to pressure at the front here. Now the Corrosive Bar's coming down, that is going to be 2 dead lurkers, and without the lurkers, TLO will lose the rest of the army as well. Elazer is going to overrun TLO in game number 1. Elazer taking the lead. Consider coming back again. Again, I do generally cast StarCraft most days. Again, the start of this week coming up is going to be a little bit weird for me casting, simply because we have been putting a lot of attention towards this event. I actually don't have much lined up for the next couple days, but after the first couple days, we're going to have a lot more lined up, and we'll have a lot more StarCraft coming through. I'm actually just going to check my schedule very quickly here before we intro the players. I know on Thursday we're definitely going to be casting Kung Fu Cup. I'm going to be casting Clash on Tuesday as well. That's actually my only plan, because I actually had a plan to cast something on the 8th, but unfortunately that's not going to work. Okay. Alright, well, let's get this ready to roll. Game number 2 of this best of 7. The hashtags are coming in once again, guys, and right now it is 50-50. Wow. Dead even between the two of them. There we go. Rotating a little bit more in favor of TLO. To the top right-hand side, our blue Zerg from Team Liquid is TLO, as he sets up here in game number 2. To the bottom left-hand side, our red Zerg player from Clash is Elazer. Chicken Man with my favourite copy pasta of the moment. Yeah, the riff gotta go. I choose you. We're having some good memes lately. Again, if you haven't been keeping up on WardiTV, we've had some real good Pokemon memes. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. Again, guys, if you're enjoying the stream so far, if you already hit follow, but you want to think about what else you can do to support the channel, you can subscribe. We're currently 14 subs away from 300, so pushing towards that very quickly, which is awesome. Every subscription helps us to put on more StarCraft 2 content, so do consider helping us out with that. You can subscribe with Twitch Prime for free if you haven't used your Twitch Prime sub this month and you're a Twitch Prime user. If you're an Amazon Prime user, get your Twitch account connected to your Amazon Prime, get Twitch Prime, get your free sub, support the content. It does go a long way, it does help out a lot. Of course, if you want to donate or cheer as well, also helps. Also, again, allows us to just put on more StarCraft 2 for you all, day in, day out here on the channel. Hatchery will drop down from Elazer on the bottom left side. Overlord coming out. A couple of lings on each side of this Elazer moving around. TLO moving around. Third hatchery dropping into position here. Going to be about 75% of the way done. Again, Bane and S will be finishing up soon. As we do just see the hatch coming up on each side of this. Couple of lings coming up. Ling speed about to finish. And a couple of lings just gonna, well, that ling trying to jump in towards the main base. We do see the setup right now with both of them just continuing to be on the third hatchery. Really nothing crazy to talk about early game of this ZvZ. And there's a wave of votes coming in. The Elazer starting to take a little bit of a lead in the chat. Crazy. What's up, Avex in the chat as well, hopping in, one of the map makers that's in this contest. Hey, Avex. I'm really glad you added bubbles into the map. But I'm a little bit concerned that there's some rumors that you actually are bubbles. So can you please confirm or deny whether you are bubbles or not? Thank you. Roaddrawer dropping down from TLO. Both players will go into the +1 missiles, and again, I can't really imagine a world here on Crystal Cavern where these players don't go for a bunch of roaches to at least try and pressure the third base, because again, it's pretty quick to move across. Again, you can kind of split up towards the fourth as well. It just feels like the sort of map where you have to go roaches on initially. Now that said, once you get past roaches and you can go in towards lurkers, I think lurkers become amazing on this map. Look at these kind of narrow pathways you do have to attack into before you reach the kind of larger area to spread out in. It's going to be making lurkers and that splash damage which they provide very, very powerful. Tiny Toffee Cookie in the chat, hashtag Elazer, so is Crash Override. Instamaniac, hashtag Cyril. Wrong tournament, dude. Wrong tournament. Cyril actually didn't play in this event because he went off to Korea to play some online, some league, I think. I'm not sure. Seems like a mistake to me. Kappa. Roach speed starting from both players. We do see Nematized Carapace is on the way out. Again, we've been seeing Overlord speed has actually been fairly useful in multiple ways. From Banelane drops through to... Well, from Banelane drops through to we've been seeing a whole bunch of other stuff. For example, we've seen a bunch of... we've seen just in general Overlords being saved from Ravagers by Overlord speed and stuff like that. You do just see this Overlord getting picked off right there. Again, more roaches just pouring on out here. Getting set to go. Carapace upgrade will start from the Elazer and the +2 missiles. Okay. He just didn't start +2 missiles for a moment. I was like, huh? But obviously if he's got double Evo, does make sense. One Queen just going to start targeting down this Overseer. And the Overseer is just going to be pushed away off over to the right-hand side. So, Overseer pushed off over to the right as more Roaches and Banes coming through the center of the map. His overlords are clumped up, almost as though he wants to make drop lords, but I'm not sure where he would actually drop. So maybe he just wants to spread them out at some point. As we do see roaches and a couple of banelings coming through on the top side. So here we go, it's TLO to close the fight. And he is coming in with actually a bit of a higher army supply. TLO has quite a few roaches here, but obviously he has to fight against the reinforcement distance of his opponent. One advantage that Elazer should usually have here is the queens joining the fight, but the queens are very late to join. The first queen just arriving moments ago, and the second queen still wandering up the ramp right now, and that means TLO continues to take a fight where he's just continuing to push his way through this. Continuing to make his way through this position, and well, I think TLO might just win the game here and now. 20 army supply ahead, still rallying units in. To the low ground, a couple of units rally into not so great of a spot. He'll start to target down that fourth base. TLO is down 7 workers, which obviously helped him have the advantage going into this. Now with just one Ravager even, helps out a lot as well, because the one Ravager can force the Corrosive Bowel to force units to reposition. Ravager starts to pull back, and well, we do see Elazer starting to clean this up a little bit, but now more reinforcements from TLO arrive, and again, TLO is keeping himself at least 20-ish army supply ahead. +2 missiles still on the way from both players. Elazer, I mean, the issue is he added on some extra drones. He put some money into a Carapace upgrade rather than, you know, roaches. And that's why TLO had the advantage going into this. Although now Carapace is in play. Roaches and a Ravager of Elazer sitting on the high ground. A couple more Ravagers going to morph in here. Pushing forward as we are going to be seeing TLO still feeling as though he has the advantage though. +2 finishes for TLO a few seconds before Elazer, because he contaminated it over here. The contamination holds up +2 massively, so now TLO has a huge upgrade lead coming into this. +2 missiles being so much more valuable than the +1 Carapace. TLO now at a 30 army supply lead there for just a moment, and still fighting. Continue to fight this as you see the roaches continue to be cleaned out. Roaches and Ravagers still just press on in. The Queen will fall as well. And this is going to be TLO breaking through to tie this series up. 1 game apiece from this best of 7. TLO ZvZ looking great so far today. Already took down Reyno 3 games to 2. Now looking to tie things up with Elazer at least. Jeez. TLO takes it 1-1. And that's going today with a whole bunch of gift subs and bits as well coming in once again today. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate the continuous support. Really do appreciate it. Can we have some love in the chat for Wush J, guys, as we have to the top right hand side of New Repugnancy, our blue Zerg player from Clash. This is Elazer. And at the bottom left hand side of the map, our red Zerg from Team Liquid is TLO. What's up, Alba? Thank you so much for the 6 bits saying ramen. I'll ramen you if you don't shut your mouth. I love the fact that no one gets this joke. TLO opens up with a 13-12. It's aggression from our red Zerg player in the bottom left-hand side, who is looking to try and pick up a quick win here, perhaps. Let's see if it works on New Repugnancy. A macro map in terms of category here for the map contest. So the 13-12 is an interesting choice considering it actually comes through from both players. It's not a 13-12 from Elazer though, it's a 14-13. Wow. And that means Elazer just straight up build order wins, doesn't he? Because Elazer's on 16 drones already versus 13. Wow, it actually does. Well, TLO will go for Baneling Nest. I mean, no, so the difference is it's both 13-12s, but Elazer pulls out a gas, of course. I was just looking for the difference, and the difference is the gas. Well, that's actually really interesting, because now TLO will have Lings to deal with, but he'll have Banelings, and the Banelings can go a huge way, of course. Banelings against no Banelings. Well, Lings coming up here. TLO's Baneling Nest will finish shortly. He will come in and see this late hatchery of his opponent, so he should know what's up. He should be able to get cancelled on that pretty much straight away. Elazer's been so slow with his Zerglings that actually that might come back to haunt him a little bit, because he's not going to be able to get much done with them at all. By the time he gets here, the Queen should be out, and that will go a long way towards defending this. Again, Link Speed coming up at the same time for both players. It's the Banelings that are the difference right now, as we see these extra Lings just going to jump on this right now. I'm just going to deal a little bit more damage. Lings over here as the Queen is going to be able to hold the choke point, so a good defense. Hatchery is cancelled. Elazer will have a lot more money to spend, but he has nothing to spend it on. That mineral income is just a little bit too high, as you can see the Baneling will protect this set of Zerglings, as they will be able to pick off the Queen. So the Queen down. Suddenly Elazer is going to be missing an inject, and that's obviously a big deal. This Queen over here, going to try and be safe. Queen needs to pull back, doesn't get it. The Lings will be cleaned up by the drones. Meanwhile, Banelings, though, over on this side, have not been able to really connect on too much, or have they? As TLO gets one more Baneling shot just on one Baneling, just on one Zergling. TLO reinforced now, and I think Elazer is actually just in trouble. But I don't see how Elazer is really going to recover properly from this. The Queen, I guess, will give him a bit of momentum, and he will clean up. The Banes went off on the Spine Crawler, actually. We missed that as we were just looking across the map at the Lings counter-attacking. More Zerglings streaming in. Couple of Banes getting set up and ready to go, and 2 more Zerglings in the middle of the map. And Baneling picked off, and we are going to be seeing still those Lings push back over to the right-hand side. 2 Lings going to hop up into the main base here. I mean, 2 Lings alone is not really too much, and TLO already getting the first hits. The Baneling obviously is looking for the big connection here to change things up right now. Man, this is a tough little situation. Elazer is going to get back to a Spine Crawler, but he's 4 drones down, so in terms of economy, TLO is a little bit better off. And he has got those couple Banes as well. Interesting part of this is, though, Banes are obviously very slow to move, and so in terms of dealing with this counterattack, I don't know what TLO's plan is, actually. Because these Lings have come across, I'm not sure. I mean, feels like TLO. He must know these Lings are on the map. He's morphing in 2 Banes in this choke point. Is that enough to clean up these Zerglings? 2 Lings lead up the ramp initially. Evo Chambers come down to buy time. We're going to be seeing this Queen set up as well. TLO cancels 1 and 2. Here comes the Banelings moving forwards. First drone. First Baneling goes off on just 1 Zergling. Not good at all if you're a TLO fan. Okay, a manageable number of Zerglings now, though, as we will see the Queen able to clean these up. They'll just die for more drones, though. TLO makes a Spore Crawler to save 1. We'll lose another. TLO is now down by 5 workers, as this Ling Bane will not be able to do much, considering the Spine Crawler on the high ground is a good defensive position. Wow. Spine Crawler will finish in a moment or two, as again, a little bit more Ling Bane on the map for TLO. He has to get droning, though. He's down by 5 workers suddenly. Has to play catch-up slightly. That income lead suddenly somersaulting into the favor of Elazer. More Lings just gathering up on the low ground. Thank you, Hero Roke, for the free bits. Saying half a pack of ramen. Just the 4-player, apparently. Hashtag in joke. Ling is just setting up here, and I mean, it's a bit of a weird spot because the Spine's going to cover the front, and we see TLO is just thinking about what to do with the Banes. Looks like he wants to get out with them. 4 Queens means that TLO will not get up that ramp. TLO is on a much faster natural hatchery now. There's a couple of Banes morphing defensively. He continues to add on drones, minimizing that income lead which Elazer's had over the last few minutes. Elazer has a lot of gas to utilize, though, and he does have his own Baneling nest now, so if he needs it, he can morph in Banelings. However, on the other side of things, I feel as though we're at this sort of stage where, I feel as though we're at this sort of stage where we would probably not want to morph the Banes. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. He's not going to morph the Banes. He doesn't need to. And instead he can spend the gas elsewhere. And right now he spends the gas on this lair. So lair starting up here to get started. Natural hatchery dropping down. About 60% of the way done currently. What do you do with this faster lair? Spire? No Rotron yet is the question, right? Without a Rotron, this becomes a bit of a weird situation. Rotron will drop down from TLO, so his kind of setup here is looking pretty regular. Takes a 3rd hatchery. Continue to be ahead on the expansions, but again, it's all about this lair from Elazer, and I'm just trying to think what else this could be. There's a lot of gas to utilize. If he wants to drop a Rotron, he could make roaches. Feeling is coming in here to the right-hand side, unable to do much. 1 Ling trying to jump on a Baneling, doesn't quite find the opportunity though. A couple of moments of calm, just as we kind of really figure out what each player wants to do for the next few moments of this game. See a few Banelings of Elazer coming in, and one Baneling does connect nicely to pick off a Zergling. More of these Lings just gathering up, and again the third hatchery is going to be finishing in a moment or two, so that's going to be something on TLO's side of things. He'll just defend this Baneling nicely, as the Lings to do so. Obviously looking for a scout here. Elazer tries to sneak into the main. Could have had it, instead just goes to the back of the natural. Looks as though he'll just go roaches. +1 missiles comes up. The lair doesn't really actually come into play at all in the end then. Just going to go into roach speed in the near future. Utah's Carapace from TLO, again, that Overlord speed, something we see a lot of the time to dodge away from Ravagers. Maybe, of course, opens up some Baneling drop aggression as well. A lot of opportunities here as these couple Lings coming around the top. Drones are going to transfer around as we'll see these Queens. Thinking about what they want to get up to. Spinecrawler fires away, gets another Zergling kill. One drone gets picked off, and again, Ling's doing a decent job there, as we do see. Well, drop a load from TLO, continuing just set up at the front. So he is going to go for some Baneling drops now. Elazer killed off 10 drones of TLO back in game 1 with a Bane drop. Can TLO do something similar now? TLO is up in workers as well, by the way. So after all is said and done, TLO is really coming out with all of the advantages here currently. I mean, we are seeing +1 missile attack upgrade, roach speed, dropper lords. He's got the 4th base started already, the drone count. There is nothing which is favoring Elazer over TLO right now. So after a very strange early game, a very kind of who is where in this situation, it does come out in TLO's favor. Again, those overlords continue to come across over to the right-hand side. We will see the 4th hatchery of Elazer thrown down here in a few moments. Players actually took different routes towards their 3rd and 4th base. TLO takes the 3rd base and high and the 4th base up here. TLO took the 3rd base. Elazer took the 3rd base, where TLO took his 4th, essentially. So, a little bit of a switch up. Players playing around with the different expansions in different ways. Wouldn't necessarily say either had an advantage or disadvantage with the way that this game in particular has played out. And drones going down, those Overlord drops starting to connect. Finding 7 drones so far. These few roaches caught off guard, though. It's going to be some unfortunate losses that are just unnecessary. These roaches coming up, and we will see a few Zerglings from Elazer just pulling up towards the upper left-hand side. Carapace just over halfway done currently as well, and just going to be seeing the +2 missile attack of TLO. Still moving along here. A couple of drones in the main base going to be targeted down as well. It doesn't quite fall. As those Queens are continue to target. Oh, Bane drop from Elazer, and he'll get 2 more drones at the end here as well. He does. Wow, so the counter drone drop suddenly pops Elazer up into an 8-worker lead. Wow, Bane drops on each side of the map. Drones disappearing. More roaches on the way out. Carapace upgrade coming in from Elazer. Tunneling clause is about to finish. Queen is going to be able to push that Overlord down the right-hand side. Overseer. Overhead for both players. Going to be important soon because that Tunneling Claw Burrow play is in play for TLO very shortly. And that's going to be his way to try and harass his way into an advantage in this series. Man, the votes are so even, by the way. 52-48%. TLO slightly edging out the favorite in the chat. Roaches will Burrow move forwards once again, but Elazer, I want to say, was going to be in position, but now he isn't going to be. Roaches are going to split across multiple different directions. Guys, I'm going to put the picture up on the bottom right of your screen to follow those roaches in the 3rd base as they pop up and to see what happens over there. The main base harassment starts. There's also harassment down over here. Already 10 workers killed. You see on the picture there's actually a larger chunk of army coming in from TLO. That's now being pushed away as these drops continue. And again, just action in 3 different places at the same time. This natural expansion still dealing some damage as well. Those roaches will burrow burn Overseer nearby, and we're going to be back into the big push on this base as well. The 4th base of Elazer just continue to take a beating, as well as the 3rd base mineral line just disappearing in terms of economy. Elazer's down to only 40 drones at the moment, and we are going to be seeing this big fight from TLO start off pretty well as he gets himself a couple of work kills, and he will find himself the hatchery too. He also picked off a couple of Ravagers, so not bad at all. As we are going to be seeing a couple more corrosive bars, not quite able to connect. +2 missile attack upgrade on this natural hatchery. Coming into play as more roaches on the way up. Roaches and Ravagers gathering together for TLO. More roaches and Ravagers coming in from Elazer towards the upper side of the map. And, well, to the south side, TLO continues to push on through here. Elazer is going to be chased away off over to the side. And And again, Elazer has a few roaches to the top left, so let's actually follow those now on the picture-in-picture, guys. This game, perfect time to use it, because we have harassment all over the place. TLO finds himself corrosive battling down those eggs. No, they're just a couple of shots away. One more bile would have cancelled the roaches. Well, it's not the end of the world, considering actually TLO gets the hatchery and just gets out of there. It's still good damage. Again, as these roach armies chase, the picture-in-picture shows roaches killing queens. Elazer having a good time and might even get the 4th base of TLO as corrosive battles come down. These armies disengage, and we will now watch this base just not quite going down yet. TLO is just reliant on reinforcements to save this. I don't think he will save it, though. But again, he killed 2 bases while he lost 1. So in the end, it still works out for our Team Liquid player, who comes back in to the top side of the map. Looking to cancel this hatchery again. Won't get it this time. The corrosive bars force him to back away. He will not be able to commit through. Now the Burrow play being used once again to kind of sway the way of a fight. Nicely done as those few roaches of Elazer continue to escape up to the top left side. Spire about to finish up from TLO now in the main base. So his switch is what's actually maybe going to be really deadly here, because there is no preparation, no setup at all for meters. TLO has kept his opponent so busy for the last few minutes that he has just not had the chance to think about scouting, the ability to scout, or the thought of meters at all. And suddenly when 10 meters show up, I mean, overlords are going to die, mineral lines are going to be exposed. TLO is probably going to get quite a bit of damage out of this. We do see the Hydra's Den is on its way up. So there is going to be a response to this from Elazer. Obviously the Hydra's not only to help the mutas, but obviously to switch in towards a Lurk Den eventually as well, most likely. Roaches and Ravagers going to be starting to be pushed away by these mutas, but show up, and they're just going to go for that. Coming in, we'll find a Queen, although Transfuse ready. Transfuse actually is just going to be there. For a moment it wasn't there because it was too far away from the other Queen. TLO taking a moment too long to maybe actually target it down. Transfusers traded out once again. Spores now finishing up. 1 Queen will go down. Still going to be hunting these Ravagers. It's just the Mutalisks at the moment flying around. TLO is still yet to retake a 4th base, which does seem a little bit of an issue. We'll start targeting down the Rotron, but with Hydras coming out here, TLO should have other things on his mind. He sees the first 2 Hydras, though. It's a good pick-off. The more Hydras you pick off like this, the better of a time you're going to have moving forwards. Rotron will fall, so no more roach production for the moment. Meanwhile, we do see roaches pushing in over here. So let's follow this for a moment, as actually this big fight will cause the roaches and Ravagers to move over in position. The mutas are just sat here overhead, picking off so much, and TLO looks as though he's going to turn this from a 1-0 deficit to a 2-1 lead in the best of 7. Looking good at the moment as we see those mutas continuing to pick up more kills. A couple of Hydras going down, Queen picking away as well. And we are going to be seeing, well, 13 drones picked off. TLO is losing a couple of mutas to these Spore Crawlers. Hydras to the top side, not all the mutas gathering together. Otherwise, he might have been able to fight that more easily as he'll chase away a couple of roaches. The Hydra's unable to catch up at the moment. His mutas getting some more kills. Not sure if TLO needed to turn and fight with the roaches on the ground, but TLO comes out of this again, ahead in the work account, ahead on the army supply, and still obviously extending that lead by microing these mutas against the army of his opponent, which is still just sat without a response. I mean, the Hydras obviously work, but we still need to be having enough of them, and right now, there's enough if they're all gathered together, but they can only be in one place at a time, and the mutas are just so quick, so mobile, they can maneuver their way onto other positions. 50 drones to 61. Elazer starting to rebuild, though. Over the last few moments, you can see that TLO has just been in control of the economy throughout, and you can see that the army supply is starting to really take a dip down, and obviously because of the better economy, TLO has been the one to start pulling himself back in the army supply rather than Elazer. Overlords being found as well, and this is all just damage which adds up. Overlords which have to be replaced eventually. Hundreds of minerals to be spent once more. Money which Elazer's already spent once this game that he'd rather not have to do again. 5 drones going down. Roaches to the bottom right hand side. Nice little burrow to split these roaches off. We'll be able to save a good amount of them because of it. And to the top side, the mutas are back in play. Now they kill off the Spore Crawler. So the Spore Crawler falls. We're going to be seeing more of these Hydras being picked off again. Hatchery again taking some more hits. Mutas will jump in towards the main, or at least they think about doing it for a moment or so here. Mutas coming back around. Nelly finding themselves yet another Hydra pickoff. over here. There's no Spore Crawler at all, killed off in the previous fights. A couple of Hydras in this army, though, and they will be able to come in and get some shots off, but the Mutas are just cleaning them up. Now the drones are stacking up, and again, Elazer's just running around in circles, trying to defend. The Spore Crawler here might be a bit too much, and well, we will see again. TLO, though, is just turning around. Overseer goes down, and now the attack up to the top side. Roach is pushing in to kill the Hatchery, or maybe just for the overall fight. He's maneuvered and manipulated his way into this lead over the course of the game. And TLO he has been. Let's go back into this and continue through again, guys. Sorry for the slight delay. And let's just see what happens. Down a game to the bottom right-hand side, the blue Zerg player. This is Elazer. He's up against the red Zerg, up left, TLO, and what a run he has had through this tournament. Finished first place in his group over Stefano, avoided the team kill against Euthermal in the round of 12, but might still end up meeting Euthermal today in the grand final. If he keeps playing as he's playing, he really is making very good progress, and he really is looking like he has the ability to make it to that TVZ final. Be interested to see some of TLO's TVZ. Right now, though, Euthermal's just been playing out of his mind all day long. We'll just see the hatchery. Hatchery first from both players, probably expecting a gas and pool, though. We'll see if either of them wants to go in towards a third hatch super quickly. TLO and Elazer have both shown us that at some point today, although it is just going to be an extractor coming in from Elazer, so TLO will go hatch pool. That does sometimes suggest that maybe we'll see hatch pool hatch rather than hatch pool gas, but this time it is going to be the extractor coming down, so no super fast third hatchery here. Pretty regular startup at the moment. As we do see this overload of TLO continuing down to the south, this overload of Elazer continuing up to the north. More drones on the way up on each side of the map. This overload still coming up as well here right now from TLO in the main base, and we are going to be seeing, well, good stuff so far between the two of them. Because, hey, it's very hard to mess up the very early stages of the day. Does Wardy play StarCraft himself? I do. In Master League with Zerg and Terran. Probably right now mid-ish Diamond with Protoss. It's been a while since I played TOS properly. Link speed coming in here from Elazer, and the link speed coming in on the other side of the map from TLO as well. So this is getting set up and ready to go as this overload coming down the left-hand side of the map. A couple more drones on the way out as we'll see this one popping down to the low ground. We'll get ready to get to mining here in the next few moments. This drone going to jump onto a mineral line as well. And again, just going to be seeing these this overload backing away down the left-hand side. These couple of queens are coming in chasing, coming in hunting, but shouldn't really be able to surely get the kill. I mean, he's going to have to chase all the way down here. It's very far away from his base. Means that these queens are going to be extremely exposed. I guess it wasn't that bad. It went down a lot faster than I thought it would. Do you see the Bane and Nest on each side of the map, link speed? And there's the difference. The +1 melee comes in from Elazer. So he's going to play a +1 melee setup, and by playing a +1 melee, he's going to be, again, opening up into more Ling Bane only. Makes it more difficult to transfer into Roaches. Sometimes Carapace comes up instead, and you can see maybe a Roach transition off that, because the Roaches also benefit from Carapace. But melee is all about Ling Bane and only Ling Bane. And that's what we are starting to see. As circling backs away towards the center of the map. Baden Nest is about to finish up here. And again, those extra Zerglings just heading over to the left from Elazer. Again, the two Banes continue to come up about halfway done. And the Rotron also about halfway done as well. Zergling's just going to get a little bit of damage on the hatchery. Does surround and manage to grab this queen. So that's a nice pick-off as we see this hatchery continue to be picked away at. And again, this hatchery dropping pretty low so far. A couple of Banes coming through. Some more Zerglings come forwards. And they will just not quite get the Banelings. Bane's actually getting a pretty good connection as the Lasers Lings clump up together as they back off here. +1 missile attack starting from TLO. He obviously does want to go into the Roaches. I mean, the melee upgrade's not far off, so we're getting to that stage where TLO maybe struggle a little bit more. But with the Banelings here, I mean, +1 melee doesn't really affect Banelings, you know, in terms of, TLO wanting to defend. So, it works out pretty well for him. Needs to start up some Roaches, though, because the sooner he gets Roaches, the less it's going to be that scenario of, hey, your Roaches are streaming out 1 or 2 at a time, and they're getting surrounded instantly. Which, of course, does kind of often become a bit of a disaster. The Zerglings trying to push forwards again here, as we still do see Banes going off against each other. Oh, the hatchery here of TLO is going to be transfused to keep alive for a moment. Drones will pull in to help the Queens. More Zerglings on the way. TLO is supply blocked, though. And as the laser streams across the map with +1 melee in tow, it feels like he might just have a little bit too much right now. He's got a Baneling coming in here as well to help out. And again, this hatchery is low. And it's just going to fall in the next few moments if something doesn't happen. I mean, the Baneling comes in, will just go off on the drones, gets the kills, and the hatchery goes down. And when you lose the third base like this, in terms of a follow-up, it's going to be tough. And again, TLO maybe just not starting up some Roaches fast enough. Just didn't quite have the Banes which he needed. And the Laser looks as though he's going to be able to make this work out. More drones going down as these Lings stream in. And again, with +1 melee, they just shred drones especially. So those drones are dropping so much faster than you might usually expect. TLO has some cool hold position micro to obviously kind of help out here, but there's only so much that can realistically be done. Hold position again, dubs out those Zerglings. Gonna pick away at the lava over here, because hey, what else can you do if the Lingsley scouts the main base? Baneling does get cancelled. Again, nice idea, trying to stick a couple Banes into the corner of the main, but unable to do so. TLO keeping track of that one, but now down heavily in the work account. Looks like this best of 7 is going to get all tied up once again. 24 drones killed as more Zerglings of Elazer just going to head back home, head back to the right-hand side, and get themselves set up once more. 4 more Roaches, 5 more Roaches being produced. Nidus Network will drop down here from TLO. So TLO will have that Nidus on the way up, and more Zerglings coming in towards the top side of the map. Roach speed on the way up. So getting in towards the Roach speed now as well. Continue to establish himself into a good position here. As those Zerglings of Elazer are going to come around the left side, jump in towards the high ground. Roaches and the Queen able to push that back very easily. One more Baneling just on the way as the Nidus Network finishes. And the Nidus will set up. TLO just going to go for one large counter attack, but as Elazer makes his own Roaches, he's got +1 missiles of his own about to finish. TLO really doesn't actually have any advantage to make use of at all here. As this Nidus will pop out, and well, the one thing he can maybe do is catch some units as they come out of position here. He's got Roach +1 attack for a couple of moments at the start of this fight. Is that realistically going to be enough to change things? I highly, highly doubt it, and you can see TLO already trying to reposition. The Nidus was a nice idea, it was a nice touch to try and come back into this, but unfortunately, it's not going to work out as you do see these Roaches continue to pick away at this. GG, Elazer. Just a little bit. Game number 5 to the bottom right side of the map. Our blue Zerg player. This is TLO. And in the upper right side of the map, our red Zerg player clashes Elazer. He opens hatch gas pool against TLO's again. Early gas pool timing. Honestly, it was so close the last time around. As TLO had a bit of a build order advantage, I think. Put us into a very interesting position in general. As you will be seeing, the few Zerglings from TLO will start to move out onto the map here. Again, some hashtag TLOs coming into the chat. Here's Frank, hashtagging TLO, who's now at 56% of the chat vote. You guys loving some TLO right now, apparently. Elazer just sat at 44% here. Keep those hashtags coming in and keep on cheering for the players. Alright, guys, let's get this going and get this set up here. This TLO will actually pull out towards a gold base behind this, so he's going to have a gold base hatchery beyond his aggression. That's pretty interesting. First little skirmish here doesn't achieve all too much. Took a little while for TLO to get across the map. This first Baneling will start to morph on in, and we are going to be seeing, well, that Baneling tanking a lot of the damage here. And oh my god, if he saves the Baneling, kills more Lings, that's already great for TLO. Now I'm actually surprised he didn't continue forwards there. There's a Spine Crawler on the high ground. Oh, he's going to maybe get another couple of Lings. The Baneling has again another opportunity for that Baneling to perhaps go off and get a lot of damage. TLO is very, very cautious how he uses these units. Maybe now he's going to look to use it as he comes forwards once more. I mean, the Baneling can't realistically hope for much more in the near future, right? Doesn't know where he wants to go. The Lings are so stacked up. That was it, maybe. I think TLO could have used this Baneling a lot earlier. The earlier you use it, the less time Elazer has to get value out of his own units, right? And I feel like here TLO just really sat and decided not to use it for way too long. Going into 8 Lings and 2 Banes now. He's going to continue making units. Remember, his hatchery's coming up. He could move these drones over to the gold base and actually start to mine there. He'll have a lack of economy for a few moments as he transfers, but as he gets there, obviously it becomes a bit of a positive for him. Elazer going into his own gold base right now too. Again, this early attack of TLO has just not quite worked out yet. Those Lings and Banes continue to be flowing around as we're going to be seeing the Lings over here coming through, and they are going to go after a couple of these drones. More Zerglings coming over, and we'll continue to see the skirmish. I mean, I think Elazer just keeps on rallying with 22 workers to 11. I mean, even a gold base doesn't pull you back that much into the game. The income lead of Elazer obviously spiked up massively for a while because TLO was just transferring. As Elazer gets Banelings out, it really just becomes a very difficult scenario for TLO. That's a nice connection though from TLO. I mean, if he is going to survive, it's connections like that that will keep him in this. And it's connections like that that will keep him out of this. To the top left side of the map, our red Zerg player who needs your energy. He's down 2-3. Give it up if you're cheering on TLO. The other side, we have our blue Zerg player. Clashes Elazer. Separated by this row of neutral missile turrets, which currently both players are sending their overlords to attempt to avoid. These missile turrets have claimed many a victim over the last few days. It's really been a big talking point amongst the community and the players. And has obviously been influencing a few of the matches, maybe a little bit, some more than others, I suppose. Soul straight up lost a game because he just flew into them. Clem lost an entire series because he flew into them twice on different maps. Go Elazer saying victory now in the chat. He is one game away from making the grand final again. Grand final are guaranteed $500. Winner takes home $1,000. Scary missile boys, says TLO. He isn't wrong. Definitely doesn't seem like the sort of map you want to play mutas on. Although that said, to be fair, once these, if with mutas, as long as you come through the center, you can still get across the map. It's just then you can definitely get cornered by missile turrets, and you have to be a little bit careful. I want to see these guys get to Broodlords and Broodlord their way through these missile turrets and push into the main of the opponent. That would be so sick. Can you imagine? That'd be so cool. Broodlord their way through the missile turrets into their opponent's base. Then they drop the entire army of Dropper Lords as well after Broodlording through, because who's going to expect that? Can't even scout it because you can't put an Overlord over here. Oh my god, it's brilliant. God, we could see some crazy plays on these maps, I'm sure. And Baneling Nest will come down on the left-hand side of the main. Baneling Nest coming down as well from Elazer, so both players opening similarly to each other at the moment. Sudden Awakening is has actually shown us some pretty good games despite the missile turrets. Outside the games where the players just fly into missile turrets right away, it's actually been pretty pretty regular. We've seen some good stuff. Reynolds versus True, I think, was Reynolds versus True, I think, was perhaps the favorite. Well, my favorite still on this map. Queen from TLO, just moving forwards a little bit, and more Zerglings from the Elazer going ahead on over to the left-hand side. So a little bit of pressure here from our blue Zerg already. Down 5 workers will look to play catch-up behind this, as obviously TLO will be expected to make units to defend and not be able to drone in the meantime. A couple of Banes already set up, and Queens should try and target those down. Costs them a couple of Lings as well, as they just jump on that a bit too eagerly. The Baneling getting a decent connection to get things started. One second, trying to scout the main base, denied though. Means there's no information given to Elazer just yet. It's just how TLO is setting up from this point on. More Lings of Elazer coming over the right hand side. Going to grab a kill there too. Elazer now on the way up from TLO as well, as again an extra couple of overlords just getting set up here. We have got this third hatchery from Elazer. Down on the bottom right hand side. Zerglings coming across and just going to try and hunt down a couple of Zerglings. TLO now on the offensive and probably looking at drone behind it. It's actually Elazer making drones at the moment too. Where are his Zerglings though? Sorry, Elazer's Lings are the blue ones. God damn it. I'm being a bit of a derpy idiot at the moment. His Lings are the blue ones. If his Lings are the blue ones, then he's already got them at home. Sorry, I'm just being a bit dumb. Ignore me. But not for the rest of the game, I promise. I'm going to start talking sense. We do have the lair on the way up then right now from Elazer in the main base. A couple of extractors coming down on each side of the map, so again, players setting up very similarly. Evo Chamber a little bit faster here from Elazer. He throws down the Rotron. Actually, TLO already has the Evolution Chamber, so he has access to that so far right from the get-go. Third hatchery is very set back as well on this map. It's actually very, very kind of long rush distances, third base to third base. And that's why we're probably just seeing both of these players kind of avoiding the Ling Bane phase of the game a bit, because it is difficult. So you're just going to be seeing the Spire just being targeted, just being thrown down here. TLO thrown down a melee upgrade as well, so targeting a bit of a different stage of this game than what we might have been expecting. Continues to deny information from Elazer, which he needs to keep very careful. And once again, coming in to deny the scout. He needs to hide this Spire. Does not want Elazer figuring it out. The red things on the minimap are the neutral missile turrets, guys. Clumped up together here. They are a death wall for any air units. Again, I don't necessarily think the idea to go in towards a Spire is a bad idea. I just don't think it's the most expected of ways to set up. Will miss that Changeling. So the Changeling gets the Spire Scout. Elazer sees it. Man, that's frustrating, because really that should have been stoppable. And this obviously would have been chased away from the main base as well, so you wouldn't have had any idea about what was going on. That's a real shame, as the missile turret helps TLO finish the job. Getting that kill there in the center. Well, Roaches are already rallying across the map here from Elazer. TLO's mutas stop, but when mutas have to play cleanup from their own side of the map, it's never going to be pretty. These Roaches starting to move on forwards. The first few Lings not even in that higher number either, so it's not like there's much to even buy time here for TLO. As we're going to be seeing those Roaches straight up the ramp in towards the natural expansion, and they're going to get ready to go. Baneling a couple of Lings at the front, obviously going to get taken down pretty quick. His own Bane's coming in as well. The muta's going to focus on those for a moment or two, gives the Roaches time to play some cleanup. Banes are already getting the connections, and the Elazer is going to do so much damage here. As he comes through, he starts to get a few more drones. He will be able to get himself maybe even this hatchery. We're heading towards the main base where even more drones await him. Again, it just takes these mutas so long to kill these Roaches. Without having Roaches of his own, TLO just doesn't have a kind of solidified backdrop to kind of fall to help him defend this. As the damage gets done, I mean, he's going to be down 20 workers with more Lings and Roaches streaming in already. So actually, there's going to be even more than that still, as we see more drones getting caught. Roaches obviously picking their way through the Lings pretty quickly. Drones have to stay away. Even if they're not going down, they're not being allowed to mine. That's obviously an issue as well, as Lings and Roaches on the third base too. TLO just does not have an answer. Again, the muta's okay, they'll clean up, but then what? Mutas have to focus on harassing. Elazer throws down a Nidus network, the idea being if he can reinforce a bit faster, he can also just bring Queens across the map, and he has a lot of Queens, so actually it would be a great play. And with the Queens here, I actually don't think there's an answer for those Mutalisks. I don't think there's an answer. I don't think the answer will any longer be the Mutalisks. Really derping out in this series, aren't I? Especially towards the end of it, guys. Apologies. Saying some silly things. Mia's coming through, going to grab another Zergling as they run up in towards the main base on the natural as well. Once again. Nidus will finish up, so here come the Queens. They have a lot of transfuses between them, dropping a couple of them down on towards the Nidus to keep it alive while reinforcements come across, and Overlord is killed as well as TLO will try to defend. More Zerglings pouring out, but again, all this time Elazer just building up with so many more units. As the Queens press forward, there's so many transfusions available that realistically none of them should go down. There should be just straight up and more than enough damage to fight this. Transfusions coming through. Elazer is going to be able to take this and take